remember Sergio de
Jesus.
Bergerac.
Sweet Jesus.
That was why there was such a long pause. I'm like, I don't want to say Black Don Juan. Who's the dude? What's the fucking black? What the fuck? Sergio.
You do. What? You do. I saw your cup and I was like, "Where's mine?" Oh, I forgot.
Let's get this. Let's blow it up. Blow it up.
You good? I just want to make sure because you bumbling and fumbling right out the gate. So
I'm good. I'm great. I'm another good night of sleep and about to get a little caffeine. Pinky out.
There you go. There you go.
Let's get into it. We've been on a hiatus for a little bit. Or were we back last week?
We were back last week.
Okay, we were right before that though. We were on a little bit of a hiatus.
Oh shit! What's happening?
You all right? What the fuck are you doing? You got a ghost
over here.
You just go like this.
Everything just went out. That's weird. But we're back.
God doesn't like you shitting on me.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Didn't that happen in Chattanooga also?
I don't recall. I do not recall.
Well, this is I'm trying to think. Let me look at the calendar. Is this we'll be able to do one before Valentine's Day. Because I was gonna say, is this the Valentine's Day episode? But we'll be doing another one on the 12th.
We're gonna do that.
But let's get into it. Could you date someone whose family disapproves of you and are constantly in your mate's ear about you? And then I have a follow-up to that. I'm going to write it so I don't forget it.
Okay, well, you do that. You got to answer the question. I put the questions up there today, so you got to. Well, even though we're answering and you already have someone, so if you didn't have Angel, could you date someone that their family did not approve of you?
I mean, because Angel's family loves me.
Of course they do. Sure.
How dare you? Aunt Mona calls me nephew. So did Aunt Mia. Rest in peace, Aunt Mia. But yeah, I'm their white chocolate.
Wow.
Could I know. Could I date someone if their family didn't like me? And then I'll tell you what my caveat was. The flip of that. Could you date someone that if your family didn't like them? And my answer to both of them is yep. No problem. So my family's always like, I mean, my dad really never gave a shit, and my mom, nobody, my grandparents, nobody really cared who I was dating. Maybe they didn't love me. No, but I'm trying to think of like all the people that my dad and mom met. Like my mom didn't meet a lot of my girlfriends I've had in the past, and I'm just thinking of like people that I would be like, this is my lady, not just some fling or some shit, Right. And my dad, I remember he met Cho. I'm trying to think if he met anybody else that I dated. I don't really remember, but I've always been like, it's great if the family loves you and if your family loves that person. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm my own man. So it's like, as far as I can't control her family liking me or not, but I mean, as long as it doesn't affect us, then I mean, they'll just not like me.
So if they were coming, if you were going around the family, because obviously in most relationships you eventually have to go around someone's family, and they were talking shit to your face, would you be?
I just talk shit back.
Okay, well then there's that.
Yeah, I mean, I being comics, like I fucking deal with hecklers every weekend, so I mean, and that's in my face. I just have a microphone, but
it is.
I mean, like I would be respectful. So like, we'll use Angel as the example. But if me and Angel, like I went to her like a family reunion. I think we were about a year into dating, and that's when I first met Aunt Mia and Mona and her brothers, and everybody's cool. But like, I'm just trying to think if I went there and I was getting the cold shoulder or whatever. But I've always been, I don't know if you notice this. Like if I'm in an environment where I'm not familiar with people or the environment, I kind of just don't speak unless spoken to. And it's not in a rude sense. It's just that's the same way I was in like
Respect.
in green rooms, you know? It's like
Mhm.
if I'm in the green room and I don't know the headliner when I was hosting at Parlor Live, I just kind of would let them dictate the conversation. So
Mhm.
um you know that maybe that could come off as standoffish or whatever, but if somebody starts talking to me or whatever, or I'm brought into a conversation, then yeah, I'm great. But I would probably in an environment, I kind of just observe and speak when spoken to. Um and if I was at that family reunion and somebody's like talking shit like that, like let's say they're talking to somebody over here, and I'm over here, and they're kind of just pointing at me but acting like I'm not there but talking about me, like yeah,
Mhm.
and then this motherfucker here, blah blah blah. I would address it. I would say something probably. You know, and I would meet their energy. Like I wouldn't go extreme over it, but I would, if they're like talking shit, I'd be like, what's the problem? What's going on? And then I would, you know, like being comics, we can, you know, in the moment think pretty quick. So, you know,
Right.
whatever they say, we should do a role play. You be the cousin of Angel, and and how I would handle it. Um
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've been on both ends of the spectrum because you asked them, and let me rephrase that. I've been on one end of the spectrum where someone's family was kind of like, yeah, and I was like, it doesn't matter. Like you said, it doesn't really bother me because it's not like we lived with their family or spent a lot of time around their family. So I was like, I don't know why they don't, but it's not up for me to know why. I don't even care
yeah.
at that particular point. But as far as my family, I've had girlfriends that thought my family didn't like them, but it may have been a specific view about how that person saw things or
Mm.
how they did things that they didn't really care for. But my family's always been really good with just kind of being like, hey man, it's your life. If you want to be with her, then it's on you. But we don't like this specific. They've never verbally even told me they don't like this specific thing, but you can tell when you're dealing with parents and family members, they like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. That don't jive with what I'm used to doing. But even from that perspective, I've had conversations with my family in the past that this is who I'm dating. So unless she does something just egregious to me or to you, then y'all gotta let this ride. Y'all gotta let it ride.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think like I've always told like if I'm dating someone, I've always a saying that I say is that I don't care what happened in your past as long as it doesn't affect our future. So I
Right.
would I would kind of apply that to a family too. Like, what up, Anthony? Anthony Bolton, in relation to Michael? You've never heard that, I'm sure. God, watch him. He's just like, all right, goodbye. He's like, fuck off. Just
I've
leaves.
had enough.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. No, so I would kind of apply that to a girl I'm dating, her family. Like she's okay with it. I mean, obviously, you want everybody to love everybody and kumbaya and all that, but
Right.
I mean, shit. There's people when we went to Angel's family reunion that Angel didn't like. That's in their family. So I'm like, you
Because we
know,
all got them. We all have them family members. It was like,
like
hey man, I
cousins
don't
or
give a
yeah.
damn what you talking about, man. Hey, you on a whole different spectrum anyway. I don't really fuck with you like that. But I'll be cordial because you're family. So what's up, Victoria?
What up,
But
Victoria?
but that's you always trying to pay some sort of respect to your family, especially mother, father, close, and I say close family, them distant cousins and relatives that don't ever really be around like that. I don't mess with them, but close family, you try to give some type of respect, but they also have to give that same respect back to you and trust your judgment. So it's definitely a two-way street.
Now, have you ever had a family that didn't like you, and it affected and it did affect her, the girl you were dating? Like,
Nah, I mean, like I said, it was only one family that I've ever dated. Someone they were on the fence, and I was like, I don't really know why because I never had any conversation with them. Sandy J, what's happening?
what up, Sandy?
I never had that type of conversation with them before. So it was kind of like, you know, whatever they talking about, I don't really care about. And she didn't really pay that much attention. So, but she just turned out to be a whore. And so, so I
She's
was like,
a
you should be
beating
concerned with
whore.
you should be concerned about your daughter versus me. How about that? So it was interesting, but it didn't even last long. It wasn't, I don't even take, I wouldn't even qualify it as we dated. We just hung out for a little while.
You just when it's over, you just tell her dad, yeah, she basically just blew me. I ain't really date her, so you ain't got nothing to worry about.
Right. Yeah, we wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. But no, I haven't had no real horror stories about anything like that.
Now, I remember there was a girl. I can't remember if she was Mormon or Jehovah's Witness. She was either Mormon or Jehovah's Witness, and we were gonna go out on a date, and I went over to pick her up, and this is like around high school or right out of high school, and I remember she lived with her parents, I think, and so we're like I'm picking her up, and they invite me in. I'm meeting the family and everything, cool, and we're kind of all in the living room. And as we're all sitting there talking, it's her dad, her mom, sisters, brother, whatever. As we're all talking, slowly people start getting up and leaving the room, to where now it's just me and the dad in the living room, and I'm like, okay. And I mean,
go
yeah,
ahead.
exactly. So we're just, me and the dad are talking. I don't remember the fucking small talk horse shit that we were doing, but it was all to get to this one point where he said something about like my intentions with his daughter or something, and even then I wasn't a comic at the time, but I think I was training MMA and all this other shit, and I had fucking street smarts or common sense, and so I knew like what he was kind of beating around the bush with. He's like, my daughter, she's very special, and she was a virgin. I don't know if he mentioned that, but I know that she had told me that. And so he's saying all this shit and kind of talking around stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't really put expectations on Morhova. She was Morhova. Morhova Witness. Nice one, Anthony. But I'm like, he kept like hinting like, what were we going to do physically, or what was I expecting? And to the point where I was like, you know what? I go, we're just going to a movie. Like, my expectation is we're going to go see a movie and chat afterwards, and that's about it. And then eventually he ends the conversation. He goes, oh yeah, I guess what I'm saying is, keep your pecker in your pants.
Sir. And how old were you then?
Dude, how were you? I was like probably early 20s.
Yeah, hey man. Hey, I'd have said, hey, listen, sir, with all due respect, we are grown people now.
And I'm gonna fuck your daughter.
We grown now. Why are we even having this conversation at that particular point? It's not like we teenagers, and I got to bring her back to your house, by 9:00. So settle down. That would turn me off immediately. I'd be like, you know what? If this is how it's gonna be with your dad, then I don't know. You're gonna have a conversation with him.
Well, it's just funny because I was like, I think I just said okay, but I'm like, how are you? What are the options to respond to that? Be like, I'll try to keep my dick in my pants. But your daughter really trying to get it. So I'm like, what the fuck?
It's up to your daughter. What's happening? Yeah, that's a weird conversation.
And he was a short dude, so I like towered over him, like, okay, little guy, I'll be sure. Whatever. I wanted to ask you. So no head.
That's hilarious, BS.
I don't kiss and tell, but maybe she does. Okay. I wanted to ask you. So I know that actually I don't know if I've seen any women that you've dated in the past. Like, I'm trying to think if I ever saw any of your like exes. But so have you ever dated? This is Love in Black and White. Have you ever dated a white chick, like fucking Snow Bunny?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now this is what I was going to ask you, because I know, and I'll answer it for myself too. Have you ever had any race issues where you met somebody's parents and they were like, oh, whoa, I don't know, my daughter dating a black guy, anything like that?
No, I mean
Right?
the snow bunnies
I have.
that I've
I've had
dated.
it.
In my day, we never. I guess their parents had already knew what their daughter liked, and so it wasn't like it was a situation where it was like, oh, he's bringing in this random dude. She's some, I don't know. I'm using this as a reference, some country bumpkin in the backwoods, and all of a sudden, here come this black dude down the gravel driveway for the first time. Then they ain't never seen black people before. It's never been a situation like that. So,
Gotcha. No Tammy Joe. Tammy Joe
no,
was our
no.
character.
Uh-uh.
I've had where like brothers of girls I've dated, black girls I've dated, given that, but it was, I mean, I can tell the difference between just big brother energy and
Mhm.
you're a white dude and I don't like that energy. So
Because I'll speak as a black man who has. I mean, I know you. We know the flavor, man. So if you walk in and it's like, oh, this dude, this what he does, or this is who he dates, then 9 times out of 10, most black dudes are not going to press a white guy like that unless it's something off. So
yeah. I mean, honestly, like most of this stuff, any situation like that where most people would be uncomfortable or intimidated or whatever. Honestly, like even before comedy, I kind of just it's funny to me. Like
Mhm.
I'm just like okay. In my head, I'm like I get what's happening. It's fine.
Mhm.
Let's play the game. It's funny to me. Like I don't really stress about it or any of that shit. I
Well,
remember this one.
good thing you ain't got to worry about that no more. Like I said, but now if I date a woman at this age and her pops is still around, let's say, man, you already near the Lord. So go ahead and just just don't worry about what we doing over here, sir. Just go ahead and
Yeah.
call it in.
This
So,
wasn't a date. My buddy Fess, Michael Fesser. Shout out to Fess out of Portland, Oregon. This is in high school or maybe right out of high school when I was in community college. But like we had did something one night, hung out or whatever, and then that night I crashed at his place. his mom was asleep when we came home, and or when we came back to his house. So the next morning we wake up, and I'm walking downstairs. His mom, I think she was like cooking or something, but I come down the stairs and Fess was like, "Hey, mom, this is Jay, this is my buddy Jay." And she looks at me and just goes, "Oh Lord, a white boy done spent the night at my house." And I was like,
used to that. She
"Nice
used
to meet
to
you too." I was
that.
like,
Right.
"Oh fuck,
You on my couch. I got a white boy on my couch.
oh
Yeah, she done
fuck,
called
dude."
Imogene to come take a look. Then she on the phone, man. She got to let her know.
It was so funny, dude. I just started laughing. She just like, "Oh no, a white boy didn't spend the night in
That's
my house."
hilarious.
Oh fuck, so great. But yeah, I mean, and just speaking on like the race thing or whatever, for the most part, I really, I'm like, I've dated the whole fucking rainbow except for white. I don't really, never really dated a white chick. But I haven't.
Look like two sugar cones fucking.
What'd you say?
You looking like 2 sugar cones fucking.
How dare you? You fucking cracked yourself up with that. Yeah, laugh it up. Great.
I'm just saying that's all I see. That's all I
Oh,
can see.
that's so funny. There's a first time for everything. Yeah, like I mean, uh, everything other than white, Latina, black, Panay. Shout out to the Panay sisters.
The
Victoria,
sisters.
Panay
You
sisters.
dated Panay sisters? It's two. You dated sisters, or you talking about sisters?
No, Panay. Like my white sisters, my Panay sisters.
Okay. I was
Yeah,
gonna say, what kind of life are you living, Jake? What life
I
is
did.
you
I
living?
was like actually the first girl I was ever in love with was a Panay girl, Nicolasa Bonifacio, and she did have a sister, a twin
What
sister,
is her name?
Nicolasa Bonifacio. That's a very Panay or Filipino
Okay, all right.
last name.
Hey,
Ain't that
listen.
right, Victoria? Bonifacio. That's like the Filipino last name, right? It's up there. But yeah,
Very interesting.
yeah, and her parents didn't speak English, so but I learned that the word putet, I think it's putet. In Victoria, you can correct me, being Panay and knowing Tagalog, I'm sure, but I think putet, it's like whatever the word is for like a white person, and it's something like putet or something like that. But her parents didn't speak English, and so when I would be over there and having dinner or whatever, and I would hear they would be speaking Tagalog, and then all of a sudden I'd hear blah 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 putet, and I'd be like, okay, I know you're fucking talking about me, motherfuckers. I know you're talking about me. What the fuck are you saying? But it's white boy. That's what it means. Putet is for white boy. Yeah, I know a little Tagalog. Mahal kita. Bakla. That's gay. That means gay person.
Oh, I thought that was something you ate.
Baklava.
Yeah.
That could be that, or a Filipino gay dude named Va.
Oh, okay. Well, you learned something.
Baklava. This is my gay Filipino friend, Baklava.
Baklava.
No, but all right. Let me get back to these great topics that you have here, Carlos.
Hey man, I'm gonna try to put some energy into this.
Ooh, we'll do we'll do the Valentine's Day one last. But is arrogance attractive? No, for me, no. Confidence.
Do you believe before
there's a difference?
You took this. Is there a difference? Do you believe that there is a difference between arrogance and confidence? And there we go.
Yes, I think there is. For me, arrogance, like okay, I'll give you an example of arrogance versus confidence. Arrogance to me is like a woman that's like, oh, it's got to be the 4 6s. He's got to make 6 figures, and I'm this and that, blah 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 blah. Versus confidence is would be to me that same woman in that situation being like, well, I work for a Fortune 500 company. I got my shit together. I'm fit. I blah blah blah. I take care of myself. I feel like I'm very attractive. To me, that's confidence, and I think that is sexy. Like I remember when Angel and I think I've told this on here, when Angel and I were first dating, there's been like little things that that I don't know if women even know it at the time, but I like it. Like Angel and I had been on a few dates, and for whatever reason I kept having to cancel or reschedule dates. And then there was one night where we were supposed to go out, and I did a podcast, and I got high on the podcast, and so I was fucking done. So I called her. I was like, "I'm so sorry, I'm high. I got to cancel." And she when she said this, she didn't say it angry. She didn't say it like call me names or anything like that. But she just matter of factly said, "Look, when you say you want us to go out, then I reserve that time and I make plans, and I get ready and all that. And then when you cancel it," so she goes, "I'm not mad. I want to spend time with you. I really like you. But how about just when you have time, you contact me, call me then, but let's not make plans. And then it just keeps getting canceled." And I like that because it was like calling me on my shit. And I've told her that I like that. And then I remember when I was dating Isabel, she was born and raised in West Africa. And so, it's like a little bit more old school, I guess, in dating or courting. And we were meeting, actually, Victoria knows this, at the Parlor, the movie theaters there at the Parlor. We were going to go see a movie. And I met her there, and I saw her, and we had been dating. We had been on a few dates, and made out and all that stuff or whatever. So like when I saw her, I went up and I like gave her a peck, and I kind of like gave her not a pat on the butt, but I kind of like rubbed her butt or something like that. And she goes, no. She was like, "No, that's disrespectful." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I appreciate that." Some women are cool with that, and I'm cool with it. But for her, that she wasn't comfortable with that. But I respected that she was like, "Hey, I'm that's not cool to me." And I was like, "Oh, no problem. I get it."
Absolutely. And so I'll jump in now. Arrogance and confidence are definitely two completely different things. Yes, they are two different words, but people sometimes feel like they're one and the same, and they are not. So to have or be around someone who's arrogant, and that's that persona that, like I said, everything is about me. It's about my ego. You need to feed into my ego. You need to feed into everything that's me. That to me is arrogance. Confidence to me doesn't speak. It's what you are. It's what you are. It's who you are. It's how you carry yourself. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to announce yourself in the room. People know when you're there. And those are things that are very sexy on a woman, to see that type of energy where I don't have to tell you I'm beautiful. That's the way I carry myself. And the same for a man. We should be able to do that same thing too. I don't have to tell you don't have to tell every woman what you have in order to impress her. Let it speak for itself in the way you carry yourself. So I can't do arrogance. That whole idea that it's going to be always about me, but confidence all day long.
What's funny, like we could use this or use an analogy or whatever, like in comedy, because you have I've always said I'm like I always say, like, be your biggest critic and your own smallest cheerleader. That's just mine. And what I mean by that is I also will say, like, let other people say you crushed. Like, you will never find a post that I've ever, since I started comedy, where I posted just killed, just destroyed. I'm the most I'll say is I'm like, man, that was a great crowd, so fun, blah blah blah. And I always say, let other people say you're doing that shit. Because how many times have we seen a comic eat a dick, eat a fucking fat one, and immediately after getting off stage tweeting out, just ripped this show, just crushed, destroyed. Dude, that shit would happen at people at Flappers in Pasadena all the time, or not Pasadena, Glendale, Burbank. Thank you. Yeah, close to Glendale, but people, there's so many young comics that it was weird. It was almost like Flappers was known for that, where somebody would do the Yoo-Hoo room, which is like about the size of my office here and seats like maybe 20 to 30. And they'll fucking do that little side room, and they could eat a fat one, and then they immediately just ripped at Flappers. And I'm like, no, you didn't.
And let's say it in front of a sold out audience. It's 20 people in here. It's 20. It's 20. Let's
wish I could sell out a 20 seat. But and also the arrogance confidence thing also reminds me of the saying Ed from Brad Garrett's. Shout out to Ed. About the thermometer versus thermostat. Like, arrogance is the thermometer and confidence is the thermostat. And what I mean by that, Ed was saying, he goes, a thermometer will tell you the temperature, and a thermostat sets the temperature. So it's like, be that thermostat. And that's what I feel like. Confidence is the thermostat, and arrogance is the thermometer.
And it's a lot. The reason I put that post or that comment to talk about is because I see a lot of it. Again, I always say this, I'm starting to say it more on stage now. If you have somebody good in this day and age right with you, you better stick with them, because all this shit out here in these streets ain't worthy. You have to filter the amount of shit you got to filter through to find someone good. It's crazy, but the level of arrogance that people have now, and I think it's because people have such this entitlement mentality that everything should be about me. It's getting weird. It's getting weird. I'll tell you, as a single man, I'm almost like, man, it's best to be single and just let things happen. Let's see how it happens organically. But if you out there looking for something, man, good luck. Good fucking luck.
So have you it's like I talk to you fucking every day, so I think I know the answer, but like, have you had any dates in the last like month or two?
And I'm trying to think the last time I actually went on a date. Honestly, I can't remember the last time I went on.
The concert?
That wasn't a date.
Oh, okay.
No, that was a date. Remember, we had to have that whole conversation after. Yeah, that wasn't a
Stirred it
date.
up.
Right here, I just stirred about. I'm gonna have to do another apology.
We just like to say
Date.
here at the Love in Black and White.
No, but I can't remember the last time I went on a date because I told you, and you know where I'm at. We talked about that on podcasts before. I'm not even in that mentality right now. If it happens organically. But even if I ask you out and then I have to chase you down in order to go out, then you don't want to go out. And that's I'd rather you say no if that was the case because I just don't have the time to be wasting. If I'm offering my time, and this is anybody, this is not just me. If you let me rephrase that there. If you are offering your time to anybody and you have to chase them down, nobody is that fucking busy if they want to have the time with you. So if you got to chase them down, move on with your day. It's not even worth the energy at our stage in the game to be chasing nobody.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I ain't got time to fucking chase you. Are you fucking 12 years old?
No, it's not. It's not. What'd you say? No, I did not, Natasha. I just called that. She said Carlos is consistent. He broke that concert, ladies. No, I didn't.
Shut up, Natasha.
This what would be hilarious. This would be the one episode she ain't listened to no other episode for the past. I don't know how many episodes we've had since then, and now she jumps on this one to be like, see,
I knew it.
He's talking about me again. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Hopefully, she didn't hear the episode when you were talking all that shit.
Yeah, she can go back and listen to it. We can get a couple more views out of it. Welcome to the chat, Natasha. Welcome to but I'm not. Nobody should have to chase anybody down at this particular point, especially knowing what you have to deal with to find good people. So if someone is worth your time, then give them it, and you want to. Let me be clear, and you want to, and you're in that space, that mental space that you want to be around somebody like that. Then stop all the games of the cat and mouse games of I want to see how bad you really want to be with me. So you need to chase me down. I'm not doing it. Well, you get 2 calls and 4 texts. And if I don't get the response that's needed within 2 calls and 4 texts,
dude,
see you later.
It's so true. The fucking chasing shit, like it's. I want as much energy back as I'm putting in, and if I'm not getting it, then I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm like.
But that's another word. First of all, thank you. We got to do more of that, Jay. What Victoria just said, we got to do more like and subscribe so people can like and subscribe. So subscribe to Love in Black and White if you haven't already, and you're on the chat. But that's a word that is getting lost tremendously in today's world is reciprocation. It's like you don't believe that you have to. It's a give and take. And that it's not about you. It's not about me. It's about us being together and reciprocating back and forth. There ain't no dollar amount on it. Ain't no gift for gift. But you have to show some type of reciprocation in order for somebody to understand that y'all are on the same page. I don't understand why people don't understand that.
I don't know. It's so funny too because you'll hear, and this is guys and girls. Like we know fellas that are like this, but you'll hear from guys and girls about what they want. Like they're like, he or she's got to have this, he or she's got to have this, and it's like, well, okay, and what are you bringing? Versus being like, hey, so I'm coming correct with this, and this, and this. So you tell me what you're coming with. Versus like, this is just what you got to have as a standard. Like, well, who the fuck are you?
And it has to be more than your physical appearance. Come on now. It has to be more than your physical appearance. And that fades over a period of time. And if that's what you're looking for, then that's good for one-offs. I'm good for one-offs. If we want to go off high, find somebody that looks, then cool. But if you're trying to build something with some longevity, you have to be able to bring more than what you look like. Yeah. Or what you physically are going to do for me. I don't care about the head. I'm honestly, this shit don't even. We're at a point now where sex don't even excite you. It's of course you still want it, but that ain't the exciting part to a relationship. Now it's like, all right, man, that's a fucking dime of dust, and I can go ahead and get that right now if I wanted to. Yeah. So why should that be important to me as the end all be all?
Yeah, 100%. Victoria said, I actually told a guy that once. He tried to call me out that I don't text/call back or don't invite him to go out. I told him I just got tired of not getting responses or no's, so I just stopped. Yeah. Yeah, fucking there's only so much. And then I bet as soon as you stop, that's when he's like, "Hey, what's going on? I thought
Right,
what the fuck?" Like,
right.
oh, now
Well, I
fucking
told somebody hit me up today talking about what you getting me for Valentine's. Like, woman, I ain't heard from you in months. Like, what are you talking about? What
is
are
it
you
the chick you owe
talking
shoes
about?
to? The
Huh?
Jordans? Is it chick you owe the Jordans to?
No, no. She said that to me. What are you talking about? Are you being funny? I'm assuming that you're being funny, so I'm gonna be funny too. I was like, I don't know who this is. I got this a new number. So, but I'm like, I'm assuming
Uh,
you're being funny. And then I didn't hear nothing else. So I'm like, either one, she didn't take that I was being funny by saying new number, who this, and she really believes that it's somebody else, or she was like, oh, he really ain't gonna do nothing for me on Valentine's. We talked 4 months ago. Come on, woman. Come on.
you should just respond and be like, why don't you see all those dicks you've been taking the last 4 months, see if any of them, because it hasn't been me, so I don't know why the fuck are you talking to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
It
Yeah.
might be a
But
little
people get
extreme.
lonely around these times, and they feel like they have to connect with somebody at some point in the next 14 days or how many days we got left for before Valentine's. It's like, come on, again, don't let this holiday. I think that's a topic I put on there too. Don't let this holiday fool you into believing or trick you into believing that you have to have somebody. Let me get somebody
Oh
real
yeah.
quick so I can say I got Valentine's. Why? Treat yourself then.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, nobody should. You should not get into a relationship just so you have somebody on Valentine's Day or, I. You shouldn't. And it's being without somebody. It might be the right move. Right now for somebody. I don't. People
Hell, you
get.
should. Let's go even further with that. I don't. Let's take Valentine's out the mix. You shouldn't get with anybody because you need them at all. Take
Hundred
care of
percent.
yourself first.
Yes, preach.
You can take care of yourself first, and everything else is
Word.
icing on. It's
Dude, in
icing
our
on
old
the cake.
church
I
used
don't
to do that.
need somebody. I would want someone, but I don't need you. And that's
Yeah.
not being disrespectful or arrogant or
No.
cocky. But that's I know I want something that's going to be an addition to my life, not my entire life.
Yeah. I don't need somebody to complete me. I want somebody that compliments me. Like and
Absolutely.
compliment, not verbally. You know what I mean. Um,
You
and
probably
w-
need a few compliments. It's all good.
Victoria said, treat yourself on February 15th. Everything is on sale.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, and Natasha said, Victoria, it's true though. Uh, okay. And speaking of Valentine's Day pressure. Do you feel like Valentine's Day adds more pressure to quote proving your love for your mate versus extending gratitude for them? Let me read that again because there's some big words in there. Do you feel like Valentine's Day adds more pressure to proving your love um, for your mate versus just extending gratitude for them?
So let me be clarified. When I
Yeah,
say proving them, you're proving it means that you need to go above and beyond and spend a bunch of money and do a bunch of plans in order for you to prove to me how much you love me versus saying, hey, listen, baby, this is how much I really appreciate the other 364 days out of the year that we are together. This is what I'm doing on this day because it's Valentine's Day. It's we supposed to not supposed to you celebrate if you want or not, but it's the day of love. So this is what I'm doing out of gratitude for you.
yeah. I'm definitely the second. Like I feel no pressure. Like to prove my if I don't think I would be with someone that I would have the feeling or the sense that I have to prove myself on this date, prove my love. I don't think I would even be it wouldn't get that to that level with that person. Natasha said if you're focused on quote proving on a specific day, you're already done. Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. If you need a date on the calendar for somebody to prove something to you, then you might as well call it in. You're done. It's over. Stick a fork in it. It's well done. It's burnt.
Yeah.
So ain't no further with that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, I know one year for Valentine's Day, Angel and I, our thing. We kind of we do just stuff that we enjoy. Like, both of us are kind of at a point. I think when you get to our age, in your 50s, Carlos.
Well,
Well,
you're
you're in your 50s.
several years,
You're in your
several
50s.
years ahead of me.
But you're in your 50s. You're there.
I'm looking at you.
Oh, I thought you just were having eyesight problems.
No.
That old age. No. But at our age, it's like as far as like holidays, I would say that anything that we want or need, we probably get it or already have it. So Angel and I are both kind of about experiences, like so like for Valentine's Day, I think it was a couple years ago, we got dressed up, wear red and black, and then we went and saw the Rat Pack because we both fucking enjoy that music, and it was dope. Took a bunch of pictures and just listened to some dope ass this Rat Pack group that sounded fucking just like them. And then one year I did a show I think it was in Utah. It was a fucking one nighter. Like these group of friends hired me, and I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen, but ended up being dope. Like they put us up, and there was this great view, and she came with me, and like it was another experience. So like that's kind of where I'm at, like with a life now. It's about experiences,
Absolutely. I do that with my sons. I tell them all the time, I'm not spending a whole bunch of money on your birthdays or Christmases or all that, but let's do something that builds an experience that lasts us for till the end of time. So let's do something in that nature. But I saw that comment from Sandy too, so I'll read it. It said, men who aren't routinely thoughtful probably feel the most pressure on Valentine's Day. Absolutely.
100, you nailed it, Sandy.
Yeah. Absolutely, because they are trying to prove that they I care about you, baby. I've been out here in these streets banging everything that moves on Valentine's Day. Let me show you how much I love you, baby. How much I love you, though. I'm all into today. It's all about you, baby. I done put my phone on hold. I put my phone on mute so I could have the whole day to you. I done told my side chicks that my grandma's in the hospital, so it's all about you today, baby. Give it.
I know this dude that you're impersonating. I have buddies that are that dude.
Yeah, come on, baby. Come on, baby. It's all about you. It's all about you. I'm here to love on you.
So funny. I fucking know. I know guys like that. Is so fucking. Baby, baby.
They doing the Stevie Wonder every time. Come on, baby. It's all about you. It's all about you.
I don't see anything except you.
With the eyes. You got it, baby. Come on.
Yeah.
Baby, girl, what you got? No lotion on their hands, sounding like sandpaper.
Yeah, totally. That's so funny. But that is so true, though, Sandy. Men who aren't routinely, men or women who aren't routinely thoughtful, probably feel the most pressure on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Because you got to step your game up for one day, and then you can go back to the bullshit. Ain't that crazy? That's what trips me out the most. I have been on the end of reading text messages from female friends, women friends that I have, where dudes I have for the entire year they've been running in their DMs and inboxes, and then all of a sudden on this day, here they go with their actual family and women. You like, come on, man, come on, dude.
Like, dude, you know what's a trip too is like. I would when I would be on the road or when I would feature for somebody. There was a lot of comics that I knew that were, I mean, these weren't like friends. I just, they may be the headliner and I'm featuring, right? But there's a lot of comics that were married, and I would just see like the biggest pussy hounds. And I always kind of like lost a little respect because it's not that, it's like if you're in a commitment, cool, but don't be in a commitment if you're gonna fucking I don't know everybody's situation at home and everything, but there's just something about like a comic will be on stage like, oh my wife and blah blah blah, I love them, this and that, and then as soon as they get off stage, they're like fucking trying to go take some chick back to the room. I'm like,
which is
and also to that chick, I'd be like, didn't you just hear him all this shit he was saying about it? Yeah.
You just took the words, which is equally confusing because I'm like, did you listen to any part of his set? Because he talks about her, and this is general because this could run the gamut of dudes that we've heard. So ain't nobody, if your feelings getting hurt by this, if you watching this and your feelings get hurt, then you need to check your life and deal with that, deal with your situation. But just to hear that, and then the women still go into that, what do you think is going to change for that particular moment? Do you think he's going to drop his wife or vice versa? Do you think he's going to drop her husband for you, a random? Okay. All right. Let's see how that unfolds.
Yeah. And then sometimes women are just chuckle fuckers.
Then there's that.
Like, dude, it's, I don't know. I mean, that's one thing. Like, there's a comic that hit me up that was saying like, hey, if you ever need a feature, I'd love to feature for you. And I just told him straight up though, I was like, if I have a choice where I can bring somebody and Carlos is free and he wants to do and the money's right or whatever, I was like, I always bring Carlos. And this guy was kind of an older dude, like your age, and I know, no, but I told him, I go, the one good thing though is like all of us being old, none of us are, and this guy was married, and so I was like, none of us are like, when Carlos and I get done with the show, we may get something to eat, but we're getting back to the room, and then we're like, all right, what documentary or what movie are we watching or anything like, and like, and if you're young and you want to party and everything, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that's not where we're at, and so. It's like I'm like, it's after the show, you want to go fucking get hammered and chase some pussy. Cool, I'll be back in the room. But me and Carlos will just be like, he puts on his little fucking Darth Vader mask and.
Why you got to tell the people all this? Why
you talk about it on stage? What do you mean?
Man, we talking about it. Wait, on stage right now,
dude. That thing is so soothing. Like Carlos is like, I got to bring my sleep apnea machine, man. I'm sorry. I'm like, it's so quiet. It just sounds like, because Angel and I play videos on YouTube. It's the sound of rain. And it's just a black screen. And your thing just sounds like water. It's so
white
quiet.
Noise.
Yeah, it's fucking great. Now I'm like, miss it when I'm here. I'm like Angel, why don't you get a CPAP?
Hilarious. Liz, I'm gonna back up. Natasha said that is right. Natasha said Valentine's Day falls on a Friday, so now people expecting the entire weekend. No, baby, you get one day. You get one day, and we back to business on Saturday. No, but yeah, they definitely doing that.
Yeah, Victoria said, how can you feel secure when someone does that also? Yeah, exactly. Like, what makes you think that your partner won't do to you what they did to their previous partner? Yeah, exactly.
And I've definitely seen that happen more often than not. Because once you're in that cycle, until you grow up and realize that it's a damaging cycle that you're doing over and over and over again, then yeah, you just going from one person to the next, to the next, to the next. And that ain't worth it.
Natasha said, not Jay delighting in Carlos deliberating respiratory issues.
I have been giving me some good sleep though lately. I decided to use it at home. I'm like, hey man, I feel refreshed.
Dude, it's not loud. It's not loud at all. It's fucking. It actually is soothing.
Hilarious.
So I'm like, fuck, I was getting good sleep scores.
Hilarious.
All right, let's do our plugs. Wrap this up. And did they ever call you for the 6 o'clock?
Not today, no.
Okay.
So I'm about to sit back and finish watching some movies and finish tagging up these new bits, and then I'm gonna be asleep by 8:30. You know what that means? You know what that feels like, right?
Dude, I'll be asleep by 7:30. No. All right. What do you got coming up?
Tomorrow I am at Planet 13 for the Days. I think it's Days comedy show or something like that. Then probably at the LA Comedy Club this weekend, and I am actually guest hosting for Jay Reed next week at Comedy and Cocktails the day before Valentine's Day. But everything else beyond that, you can definitely check out Lake Havasu, Planet 13 again. So, we trying to load up the calendar. Check out parttimefamous.com.
In here. Okay, things I got coming up this weekend. Tampa, Florida. Well, Wesley Chapel, Florida, to be specific. If you are in Tampa or know everybody by Tampa or Wesley Chapel, Florida, please tell them to come out to Side Splitters in Tampa. Next week, Monday through Wednesday, I'll be at Brad Garrett's here in Las Vegas. Then on the weekend, I will be in San Diego at Mic Drop Comedy Club. One night only, the 15th. You can go to bigirishj.com for tickets. Some cities I'll be at coming up: Sacramento, Temecula, California, Boston, Mass, Boise, Idaho, Sanibel, Florida. Just picked up West Jordan, Utah, Avenel, New Jersey. That's it for right now. Colorado Springs. Just go to Big Irish J. Go to bigirishj.com for tickets and dates. And Carlos is going to be at some of those. The Boston one's going to be so fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, St. Patty's Day weekend. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I love you all. And until next week, we'll keep.
Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can drop this before. Yeah, hold on. Let's see if I can do it. Is it going to let me do it? Is it going to let me do it?
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, my God.
You put the love back in you right.
Until next week. Bye.